I'm waiting for the love in the chat box. I know your fingers are flying. So,
What's going on?
nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice,
yeah.
nice.
I know a bunch of these guys.
Okay,
Awesome.
good. So Anthony tonight is going to be talking specifically. Our new alternative topic is we're going to be talking to Anthony about approaching. We're going to be talking about going from being a chicken coward, being terrified, running home, not wanting to approach anybody, to becoming an approach machine, getting 5 instant dates in one day, getting a girl to stare into his eyes for over an hour, all this kind of stuff, and how much he still loves to do it. Even though he's gotten himself into a relationship, he still goes out and approaches just for the fun of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
He does, and I don't think he'll ever stop. He loves the tension and the excitement of it.
Yeah,
He loves
yeah,
the flow of it. And there's a lot of discoveries about confidence. You were talking about it the other day.
yep.
How much, if you just let go. Let's say you don't want to meet women because you got a beautiful girlfriend like he does. It's still a confidence builder. It's an insane confidence builder, guys, and it does so much. And he wants to talk about that so much for your self esteem when done right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Becky. What's up, Beku? I'll call you Beku. That's your new nickname. That's my sister, everybody. Send Beku some love. Um, and um, and so we're going to talk about that today. And then when we get Natalie in here, we'll get some more of the eye contact stuff. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about approaching an eye contact tonight too.
Yeah.
So you see, Becky, you're getting some love from Michael, sending you a nice message. So with that all said, let's get started. And the number keeps growing, so we got more and more people coming in. First off, Anthony, for everybody that doesn't know you, because we got 45 people on this call, and there's got to be some that don't know you. And by the way, we're going to start introducing these coaches, him and Sam and other coaches, more and more to the channel, and they're going to be bringing their expertise. Anthony's also really good with online dating. He loves online dating. So he'll be bringing that expertise. Sam will, is 64, killing it out there, living a crazy life. He's about to hike the John Muir Trail for his 50th birthday, which is over 200 miles. He's traveling the world, living a full life. So whatever your story is, these guys will blow it out of the water. We got Mike, who'll be coming on here on occasion. He's had the 2 strokes as a baby, as a child, and he has a disability with his arm and his leg, and he's out here killing it, living a crazy life. So none of you have any excuses when you see that your mind creates the limitations.
Yeah, I didn't know that about Mike, man. It's crazy to know that. And
What?
He had 2 strokes as a baby.
Yeah.
And the way he's handling the women right now.
Yeah. Well, you can see it in his body. He's had strokes, but
yeah. I just know the backstory on it.
Yeah, you know the backstory. Yeah. He was very young when he had the strokes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but he's done amazing. He came to us really playing the victim, and he's let that victim stuff go and become so much more powerful. So much love to Mike. So Anthony, let's hear your story a little bit. Let's, guys have heard your story, but just a super short version. You came to us because you were shy. You came to us because you wouldn't talk to people.
Yeah.
Just give us a short version.
This is hilarious because I tell people this and people go, "Nah, you weren't shy." I'm like, "Yeah, I was actually terrified of women, of people, of just say anything, man." So, anyways, I came in probably, I would say, about 5 years ago, man. I think it was like 2016, 2015. Of course, I got brought in by because there was a girl who was friend zoning me.
Talking.
Yeah, so the pain of that kind of made me start to look a little bit more externally for help. And so I found Brian in one of his YouTube videos. I don't know how I found him. It might have been like a Google SEO search or something like that, SEO search. Found him, started watching his videos, and he was talking about nice guy syndrome, and totally everything he was talking about in that video was just hitting on so many points, man, that resonated with me. And
keep going.
Yeah, go for it, man. It was almost very challenging to actually finish that whole video because it's almost like you're just being called out on all the things that you thought were good qualities, because I was a nice guy and I thought all these qualities that I had were great. And it turns out that this is actually what was keeping me friend zoned by women. It was keeping me unhappy. I didn't know how to say no. I had no boundaries. So I was really a nice guy that wasn't getting anywhere. A ton of frustration. So came down to a Wednesday night seminar. I remember being at the library that day being like, okay, cool, I'm going to go and see this guy. So showed up a week later. So I went to his house. he had this Wednesday night event, similar to a Fearless Man Live, but like think about it like maybe it's like an hour too long, and it's only for one night. All that compacted into like a literally 2 hours, right? So I came and I watched him speak, and I already knew just sitting in that room. I was like, this guy knows he knows what he's talking about, and so I signed up for the first workshop. Fast forward, first workshop came, and there was just so much going on internally I didn't know that I was doing on very subconscious levels. A lot of anxiety, a lot of nervous tics, a lot of just general fear about everything, man. I didn't realize that. And so we had going out Friday night, and we went out Saturday night, which was going out to the bar.
The bungalow, yeah.
Yeah, and
In Santa Monica.
yeah, and I was one of those guys. I used to hate the bar because I what would I do there but stand around and not talk to anybody because it was never my environment.
So Anthony was officially a wallflower, guys.
100%. 100%. And I used to hate it because all the friends would want to go to the bar, and I was just like, I feel so out of place there. So that night we went out to the bar, and I remember it was us and probably about 9 other guys, 10 other guys, and I went into this interaction with one of the guys. He was like, yeah, I'll take you into one, because I was too nervous to open up a girl myself.
Was that Fabian?
Yeah, it was totally Fabian. If you're watching, Fabian, thank you, brother. And so I went to this interaction, and I kind of already went into it with the mindset that this wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to go anywhere because historically, that was the experience that I was always having. And so sure enough, I went to the interaction, and he started talking to his girl. He was really connected with her. I was like, who is this dude? Right? And I'm talking to my girl, which is her friend. It's just really cute. But I'm asking all these fucking, excuse my French, all these interview questions. Where do you go to school? Where are you from? And as I'm asking her, she's answering, but she's also looking around. You can tell she's kind of getting bored. And I'm just kind of like, okay, what's the next thing to ask her so it doesn't become awkward? I just kept asking her questions. At some point, she got bored with it, and she was just like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. And she taps her friend, and I need to go to the bathroom. And I didn't understand what that meant at the time. So I was like, okay, whatever. So Fabian was like, how did I go with the girl? I was just like, I don't know. She's kind of getting bored. And he was like, just keep talking to her. I was like, okay. I doubt they're coming back though. But
so for you guys that have never met Fabian, maybe we should have Fabian on here sometime.
Yeah.
Fabian is very outgoing and not shy guy. And he's very, very forward. So yeah. So you take the shyest guy in the room and you put him with probably the most outgoing or a ballsy guy in the room in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I got out of that interaction, and my habitual habit, of course, is to beat myself up and self-abuse and all the shit that I had going on. And so, I was kind of frustrated at that interaction, and I didn't talk to anybody for maybe like good 30, 40 minutes. And I actually sat up. I think I talked to you for a second. And I sat on the wall somewhere, like I always do at a bar, and then decided I'm going to go home because it was frustrating. And it was kind of annoying just to be in that environment, watching everybody else chat it up and talk, and you not know how to do it. And so I got in my car and I went home.
Yeah, I remember we lost him that night. He didn't tell us, by the way. Yeah. And then the next day he did show back up. I know you said you thought about quitting.
Yeah.
But you showed up anyways, which has happened before. We've had guys, and this has happened several times. It's rare, but they won't show up one day because they get their stories, their self-esteem triggered, they get their pain triggered, but then they come back anyways because they think about it, they sleep on it, and they're like, no, I'm going to go back. And they usually have some big breakthroughs. That's where their big breakthroughs happen. And I know on Sunday, because that was Saturday night, right? On Sunday, you had some big breakthroughs, right?
Yeah, for sure. I forget what we did Sunday, man, but I'm pretty sure we went out to Westwood Village.
And by the way, we're going to get into approaching. I'm going to get into details with him about how he approaches, what works, what he's worked more consistently, how he uses tension, how he plays with tension. And we're going to talk about that tonight. So we're just getting a little backstory for you guys. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So again, Sunday came and, we went out to, I think, Westwood Village, and our goal was to go out and our homework was to go out and I can't remember if it was to get a date or it was something like that. And I don't remember the details of it, but I remember whatever it was, it made me really happy. And I came back with a lot of energy. And I remember just being like this shit actually does work. I remember thinking that. I was like, damn, like it's so crazy. So much so that I was just like, what's the next thing I can get into? What's the next workshop? Do you guys have anything else? And because I remember Fabian telling me at lunch that you guys offered other workshops. And I was like, okay, All right, definitely open to hearing it.
You took before you even became a coach. I think you
Yeah.
took just about everything, right?
Yeah, did
Yeah.
took everything that was offered at the time.
And then he became a coach. He's traveled the world with us.
Yeah.
Me and you have been to many countries together.
Yeah, Japan, Bucharest.
We've been to more countries. We've been to the U.S. We've been
Oh,
all
but
over
went
the
to
U.S.
went to Budapest.
Budapest,
Right, hanging out in
Japan,
Budapest together.
Bucharest. Been to New York. We've been to Miami. Been to. Surprised we haven't been to more countries together. That's interesting.
Yeah, we're going to Turkey, so
yeah, we're going to Turkey next. We're
Turkey's
going to be in
coming
Turkey.
up.
We're going to be in Turkey for 39 days, I think. So that'll be awesome. But so long story short, you did Romania, you did all these workshops, you really worked on yourself. You had a lot of self-esteem coming up. So the theme of this call is really self-esteem and how you use approaching to grow your self-esteem versus just using approaching to get women. How you use approaching to really see the deepest parts of yourself you don't like and let them go.
Exactly.
And so as you got better over time, things started to change for you. And I remember you reached that addiction period where you were really addicted to approaching. I remember you said you took that jar of change because you had no money.
Yeah.
And you went down and you just paid the meter all day at Santa Monica.
That was such a pivotal point.
Yeah. And you got what, 5 instant dates?
Yeah.
One day?
Yeah.
And how many, like 5 hours? 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours?
I might have been out there for like 10 hours, who knows? Because that was the pattern. I was going out from like 10 o'clock in the morning when the stores opened up because I knew there'd be people. And I'd probably come home maybe around midnight because the bungalow was open. And I'd go hit the bungalow from like 7 to 12 or something like that.
Now that is dedication. That's awesome, guys. So
yeah.
So and that must have been a pivotal moment for you. Now, what changed? What do you think are some, like, give us some key distinctions? Like if you had some bullet points that said, this is what changed in me that took me from not being able to get an instant date, not being able to get a date, barely able to approach women, to getting 5 instant dates in one day. Why? Because some guys will go out and they can approach all day and they don't get any dates. They don't get any callbacks. Yeah. They don't get any numbers. Nothing goes anywhere. So what changed in your life that suddenly got the girls wanting to hang out with you, wanting to get to know you?
It was the consistency. And I'll say this because it kind of started to trickle. I had little drops of it. There was like from Timeline. I was working at the library. This is somewhere like within the first 3 or 4 months of Fearless. I did 3-month workshop. I came out of it, and I was meeting girls at the library at the desk who were checking out books. And I remember getting 2 dates from 2 girls that I met there, literally right after work ended. I was like, "Cool, let's hang out at work." And they're like, "Okay, cool." They waited for me. We went and hung out. So I had 2 little droplets there, and then we went to the Bucharest trip and I had a few more dates. So I think what was happening was just my belief in my ability to make that happen was actually starting to become more concrete. So when I came back to LA and I quit the job and I went out for that 2 weeks straight, it was kind of already in my belief system that I could make dates happen. But just being out there for those days, it almost just kind of like, like Mario when you get the star, you turn to the super fast Mario where you're just like, da, 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 da. And that's what it felt like. It was just like, cool, I've done this before. And I was so excited when it happened. I was like, cool. Just get done with that day and go talk to another girl and get another one, know, and it was just kind of in flow like that.
So let me ask, this is really, I think it gets us really interesting. So you went from not sure if you could get a date to feeling like you could get a date. Do you remember what that felt like in your body? Because that feeling is the key difference, because that feeling affects the other person. It goes from me worrying and thinking and staring at you and being like, hey, to me enjoying you and being like, yeah, I know you want to go out with me. And it causes the people to feel different. Do you remember what that feeling difference was like in you?
Dude, 100%. It was a relaxation, but it was also. So
there's a lot of tension went out of your body.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it was almost just like the indifference to outcome so much so that you can see very clearly because you're so indifferent to outcome. Like when I was trying to get the instant dates, it was just more like, okay, I hope that this works. It's almost like I'm hopeful, I'm trying to get. But when I wasn't, and then when I got those instant dates, it was more like I'm just sitting there and enjoying her vibe, and the instant just happened.
Yeah.
Just naturally happened.
Because you were enjoying her, i.e. giving value by enjoying her.
Yes.
Now, you said it just kind of happened and it kind of flowed. And so there was this natural progression. And say what you just said again, because there was something important in there. I just lost it.
Yeah, talking about kind of like the relaxation of it all and not trying to being more free of outcome. And because when you're more free of outcome, you're present. I'm starting to see all these little things that I need to see in order to
now. Yeah. So that's in spite of. Does that mean all your fear went away?
Oh, entirely not. No, because there was still the fear.
I'm sure a lot of guys. How many of you guys think the fear went away? But that's not the case.
Yeah, no.
You were confident in spite of the fear, weren't you?
Yeah, 100%. Because the fear of walking out to them was still there.
Yeah.
The we always talk about the first 30 seconds of the interaction. That was still very scary.
Yeah.
But that consistency of being like, cool, I've already done this a couple days in a row. It starts to kind of slowly burn off, but then I go back out the next day and it'll come back up again. Which is why I always tell guys, don't freak out if you go out one day and it's good, and the next day you freak out again. It's natural.
Yeah.
And so I just wrote it out, man. And every day I went out again, it was just like, oh, there was another girl. I'm setting up another date, or I'm trying for another date. And, then it started to get really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And then you can kind of feel when it kicks on. There's like a little light inside you. It kicks on, something starts to happen.
yeah.
And then
Knowingness almost.
and knowing this. And then there's a sense of when it's working. Do you ever hit that sense of flow?
Yeah.
What does that feel? Can you talk about that a little bit? Because that's the workshop this weekend. So let's talk about it. What's it like when you hit flow, like out on the promenade or out socializing?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind when you talk about flow is super indifferent style. Like so much so that you don't care what you get, or if a girl rejects you, you're not even worried about it. It's like, okay, whatever, no big deal. I'll keep going. You're just having fun. And then next thing you know, you're looking at girls who are walking by, you're smiling at them, they're smiling back at you, then you go back and talk to them. It's almost like you can't. Like, we always say this: you can't do any wrong.
Yeah.
You're not judging yourself. You're just in that state. And usually that happens after you do a couple of, let's say, highs, or you do a couple of stops, or you do a couple of approaches. And even if they go extremely terribly wrong, there's still some sense of freedom that comes from all that. It's just because you set the attention of it all.
People, and I was going to say women, but actually all people are naturally magnetically drawn to people that are grounded and free from outcome at the same time.
Yeah.
Like this sense, I'm in my body, I'm feeling my heart fully, but I'm completely free of what you think of me. Mm-hmm. And it's so magnetic. And when you see a character in a movie that's exuding that quality, we're always drawn to them. It's like, look, I want to be like that. I want to be that free. I want to be that powerful.
Hell yeah.
And so you get this glimpse, and when you hit flow state, you get a glimpse of that, don't you?
Dude, yeah. When you're in flow state, dude, it's insane. Yeah. I was looking at girls like I would never have imagined would ever look at me at the time. They were looking at me, they're smiling at me. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But I guess it's energy. People feel it.
They do. They feel it when you're just walking down the street. They feel it.
Yeah.
They feel when you think. And you think, guys, you probably think they don't feel it. You think, I feel good. I feel relaxed. It's still not the same.
Yeah.
You'll know when you get the external reaction from the world. It's really becomes super obvious. Let's see what we got here. I love your approach to life and women, but I feel for me, celibacy and semen retention for a while is necessary. My question is, have you guys ever gone a long time cultivating your superpower semen for yourself? If so, how do you balance the attraction to flirt with beautiful women, but stay celibate and not think about sex with them? You want to answer that question?
That's an interesting question. I'd say more this year, more than anything, because that's one thing I've been working on specifically is keeping that sexual energy and not letting it go everywhere. So, 50 days at a time, not masturbating, not having sex, just kind of keeping it, or at least not coming, during sex. But yeah, I kind of really don't understand the question.
Yeah, a lot of people believe if you keep that sexual energy retained, you become more powerful, more potent, more creative, and stuff like that. So I don't really worry about it, to be honest. And honest truth, Logan, is I understand the concept. I've played with it. I try to keep everything balanced, right? So that I'm not overdoing anything. I don't try to go extreme one side. I don't believe in extreme one way or the other. So if in general I've got control, and then once in a while I want to have some, it's okay. It's as long as I'm not addicted to it, or chasing it, or using it as a distraction from life, or using it to get over sadness or fear. That's what I'm mostly concerned with.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. No, I never tried to be celibate. I think it was the exact opposite. So.
Yeah, and so everybody's got their own thing, right? So more power to you. And if that's your thing, do your thing. And we do talk about semen retention, separating ejaculation from orgasm, all that stuff. But I'm not obsessed with it. Let's put it that way, where I have to do it 100% or anything like that. Priests are celibate, do the math.
That's hilarious.
So let's continue on. Let's get back to the questions in a bit. Sorry, I'm typically looking at the chat right now. I'll look at the questions later, and I just kind of glance at the chat and here and there and see what's coming up.
Yeah, that's a good one there.
This is good stuff. I'm wondering most about how approaching goes from scary to scary fun.
Yeah.
How do you dodge becoming a simp while meeting and dating women?
That's a cool one too.
That's a red pill term, right?
Simp. I've heard it used through music throughout the years.
Yeah.
Simp, a sympathetic pimp.
Yeah.
It's too sympathetic.
I don't know. I don't really think about those words. Anything that goes into a jargon, like pickup jargon, red pill jargon, MGTOW jargon, I just kind of, it goes in one ear and out the other. I don't want that stuff in my head. So
Yeah.
so I don't know that I could fully define what he's asking, because I feel like it's unhealthy.
Yeah, it keeps you in a box.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. Okay. So so talk about that. How does it go from scary to scary fun?
Yeah, for sure, man. Scary to scary fun. I'll say it like this because, yeah, it was scary as hell for sure. And there were periods of time where I was just like wanting to give up. Like, yo, nothing's happening out here. I'm not getting any success. But again, that was my whole mindset of negative thinking. You know.
And when you're not getting success, a day of success seems like a week or a month of not getting success. A day of not succeeding seems like you've been doing it for a week or a month, or 1 or 2 or 3 days. Seems like it's lasted forever.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's
you're so easy to write off any little success that you have or not even notice it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just really discount them. That's what I was doing. Like, because I remember when we first started, I think it was in my either first time I took the experience or maybe the second time I took it. You were like, okay, cool. Now go and go do stops, 5 sets, and have 30-second conversations with people. And I was so terrified to have 30-second conversation with people. I'm like, I don't know how to have a conversation. I don't know how to carry a conversation with anybody. And they weren't like girls. They were just like, go stop that couple and talk, ask them for directions, and then hold a 30-second conversation. It was terrifying, literally terrifying. And so kind of flipping from that place to being like, oh, I really love approaching women and I love being present and the eye contact and all that stuff. A lot of it came through being able to kind of see the slow progress, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't recognizing the shifts that I was making. And I was abusing myself all the time, have habitual behavior, you know. And the minute I started to kind of pay attention to what you're saying, which was the 1%, let's say, well, okay, that's different. Normally girls don't, that girl was digging me, or she was smiling at me, or she was giving me a little bit more eye contact than the last girl gave me. These little bitty things like that were just like starting to become exciting. I was like, oh, that's something.
Yeah. And
something.
So let's address that really quick, because as you started to, you started to celebrate every success, therefore making the littlest success fun.
Yeah.
But B, you stopped beating yourself up for taking what's appeared to be a long time to get good, because it does appear to be a long time. Yeah. Let me ask you guys, if any of you guys athletes or learned a musical instrument or an art, even a foreign language, how long does it take to get good at anything like that? How long does it take to get good at becoming a surfer? How long does it take to become good at becoming a snowboarder? How long does it take to become good at becoming a great skier? I'm talking about great, to become good, but even just good. How long does it take to become good at a musical instrument? And so it's funny that we get out there and we're going to work on our ability with women. And let's say we don't even have very good social skills with strangers. I'm not talking about social skills with our friends, social skills with strangers, random strangers. Yet we expect ourselves to be really good with women in a month, 2 weeks, a weekend. But yet if we were to take up surfing, we know it's going to take a while. If we might hope it's going to go faster, we know it's going to take a while. If we were to take up a musical instrument, you know it's going to take a while. You might get some basic songs down pretty quick where you can strum a little tune, but you're not really killing it, right? And that's true with this too. It takes some time, and we don't want to be one of those companies that tells you in 1 weekend you'll be amazing. It does happen. Those are usually guys that are already really good at being social, really good at connecting, and they just didn't know they didn't know they had it already. And we do a little work to build work for some confidence, some fear, some basic energies, and there's some big shifts. But a lot of the clients we work with have a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of nice guy, a lot of self-esteem. It's big self-esteem stuff, abandonment issues. And as we dig through that, that's when the real changes happen. And so if you're ready to dedicate yourself to really doing a practice like this, what is it going to do for you? What did it do for you? Like when you dedicate yourself to a practice like this, you think, oh, I have to do all this work to get good with women. No, what are you really doing? What are you doing all this work for?
Yeah, so you can get better retention, you can get better with yourself.
And then what does that do to your life?
Yeah, it explodes. So your confidence goes up.
Your confidence goes up. And how many areas of your life does it affect?
Literally every.
Yeah. If you actually approach women Not with the attitude that I just need to get good with women and that's it, but with the attitude of I'm gonna root out every self-esteem issue in my body by using approaching to trigger all of it inside me. Every part of your life has to improve. Your money reality, your confidence, your social skills, your family, your health. It's just amazing how many things change.
Yeah.
I think because another human being, especially a woman for men, will reflect back to you, and women and men for women often will reflect back to you how you feel about yourself on a deep, deep core level.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's like when I spent that 2 weeks out there, man, a lot of it was getting knocked down. A lot of it was rejection. A lot of it was like, you know, I do a couple of approaches and I'll have to sit it out for a little bit because my shit got triggered badly.
Mhm.
Where I walk around these circles for hours around their shit promenade trying to process what I was feeling at the time because, it's just what it was. Sometimes it was just a lot of fear. Then the self-esteem stuff starts coming up, you're not good at this. What's the point? The RSD guys are out here killing it. Da, 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 da. You're not killing it. It had a lot of that because I was like, those guys are doing pickup stuff. We're doing more internal work. And I was like, this is not the way. This is not how you do it. Those guys are getting girls and I'm doing it the wrong way. And I didn't realize it then, but in hindsight, this is the long term. This is a long
Permanent solution.
yeah, exactly. This is a permanent solution.
And how many of those RSD guys were all good that you were all getting girls?
I don't know.
I mean, if you actually go follow the students, how many of the students are blowing it up?
Oh,
You,
probably not many.
yeah, you don't really know.
Yeah.
You haven't hung out with them, so we like to think that But the honest truth is, there's some coaches that are damn good
Mm-hmm.
in that group. But yes, there are definitely coaches. But I find that not always with most coaches, that the students need a container,
Yeah.
and they're going to go through their shit. And if you look at any one coach that's gotten really good, he probably went out a lot, like you did. He went out every day. He cried. He went through his pain. He beat himself up, whether it's RSD or us or somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's what you don't see.
Yeah.
You just see this end result. You see a professional. You want to be a professional snowboarder, like you were watching all the snowboarding videos,
Mm-hmm.
and you're thinking you're going to get out there and fly along, and then bam,
Yep.
and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Looked at your video.
And it's in your mind, how long this guy? Oh, he probably learned really quick.
Yeah.
No, he had his first day, bam, and bam, and bam, and then through time, he started to through commitment and persistence, and he started to stand up.
Yeah, dude.
And he started to flow.
Literally.
Yeah.
All we had to we didn't have techniques. Something we had to our advantage was, what are you feeling? Not knowing how to process the shit that came up, and journaling it down, and a couple things here and there, but nothing like go say this, go do this. It was nothing like that. So it was like you really are learning how to be your natural self, and you'll find that in there. But you got to go through your stuff sometimes.
Yeah, and we do give people stuff to say sometimes, but we do it for a different purpose, and so we don't think of it that way. If I give somebody a tension opener, it's not with the intent to win the girl over. You use it on everybody, not just the girl, with the intent to practice playing with tension with strangers. And if you see a pretty girl, you do it with her too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the intent to get her in bed, win her over. It's to get comfortable creating tension, playing in the tension, turning it into flow. And then if something great happens with a beautiful girl because of it, that's a bonus. But what you're really doing is learning to be free from outcome, which then makes you just magnetic no matter what you're doing at a certain point.
Yeah. I see it all the time when I'm talking to girls and I'm not trying to get. They're kind of, in a way, they're kind of looking at you like, why is he not trying to get? It's a sub thing and you can feel it. It's like when you say something and there's a pause in the conversation and you don't try to go and get and grab and take, she can relax a little bit more. And then she gets to a deeper coneven with you.
And it gives her space to chase you a bit sometimes.
Literally, then she'll start asking you questions, or she might even suggest, oh, let me get your number. You don't even have to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's just about relaxing and not trying to let it go.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the specifics of approaching. We're talking about the subcommunication. Yeah. What to you constitutes a really good, when you see a guy nailing it, what's he like? What's his energy like? What's his eye contact like? What's his demeanor like? What's his body language like? Can you talk about any of that stuff that comes to mind for you?
Yeah, for sure. Let's say about Varel, we saw a student doing it, I know he was killing it if he was just really maintaining his own space and he wasn't, you can tell guys too lean forward, like they're trying to take. He's just really in his own space and he's not chasing. There's not this chasing energy.
Yeah.
You can feel energy coming his way. He's receiving it. He's sending energy her way. but you can also see in the girl, right, how her body language feels. You know, she's kind of there, she's entertained, she's more curious. And definitely eye contact too, right? Because some guys are just all over the place with the eye contact. And when a guy's really penetrating, looking into the girl, and you can see the girl just like maybe she was in a rush a second ago, but all of a sudden she's kind of slowly coming into a relaxation. She plans to kind of be there for a bit.
And so when you get that really good eye contact that you look in,
Yeah.
how does it feel?
To me, it feels like candy as a kid at this stage.
Yeah.
There's like little electricity going through your body. Sometimes it might feel like anxiety a little bit. It might feel like fear at first if you're not used to feeling your body. But if you start letting that in, that fear is going to start to feel good all of a sudden. You're going to be like, okay, there's something there. Especially when she starts to respond to you a certain way, she starts talking, you'll kind of know you're nailing it. You know?
Yeah. And you feel that pull, right?
Yeah.
There's that sense of almost like I always call it taffy, right? This taffy between you and the other person.
Yeah.
And it pulls back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love it because sometimes you get girls, you go into the conversation and you have that. Some girls look a little bit anxious too. They're looking around, too, a little nervous. And you kind of just hold it for a little bit, and they start to relax, and they'll come right into there with you. They'll lock in with you at some point eventually. You're like, there it goes right there.
Yeah.
And you just talking to like this, boom, that's that bubble where the outside world just kind of disappears.
And then I haven't talked about this in a while, but you hit this point of resonance, right?
Yeah.
Where suddenly there's this like expansion of just you and her, this energy.
Literally. And there's like that pause, that 1 second where you guys maybe take a second to breathe and not say anything. And she's still there with you in the silence. And that's how you know something going on there. You're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so for you guys out there, we got a lot of stuff coming up. You're one of the few students that actually walked up to a woman and you said something super new agey. Why? Nothing you would normally say. And she stared into your eyes for how long after you said it?
I'd say probably like an hour, man.
Yeah, you stood on 3rd Street, right?
Yeah, we're literally right there on what was it, Broadway, and right there in Ocean.
Yeah.
I saw her. She was walking down the little walkway on Ocean Boulevard, and she was just floating like a feather. Her energy was very light. I don't know why it was so light. She stood out from everybody else there, and she was beautiful on top of that. And so I was like, she'll talk to her. You know, the doubt gets into your head, and I was like, nah. So I got maybe like 20 steps down. I was like, you need to go back and talk to her. I was like, fuck. I do have to, because you don't normally see a girl like that every day. And so I walked back and I caught her and I said, hey, excuse me. She stopped, she turned around. I said, hey, let me, I said, can I absorb you for a second? And like right away, she knew what that meant. She was like, huh? And she was like, yeah, sure. She just stood there and just locked in with me for like an hour. So it was like, maybe I say like 30 minutes of that. And at some point she's like, can I hug you? And I was like, yeah, sure.
And then you hugged for like a half hour?
Yeah, another half
hour. So you literally, can you say, can I absorb you? You didn't say it like you said to me. There was probably some other way you said it, right?
Maybe more, yeah, whatever. It wasn't that moment. It was something like, can I absorb you for a minute? Can I? Yeah,
those are the words you said, but I'm saying, what was the energy behind it was different than the way you're saying it, demonstrating it here, right? There was a different energy. There was an intensity, I'm guessing, or what?
Yeah, there was a curiosity.
You say curiosity and intensity.
Yeah, it was very, very much a heart energy for sure.
There was a conduit between you and her, like the strong push and pull of energy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And so
she got it.
Because I can't see that working without that, right?
Yeah,
you got to have all that stuff.
Yeah,
and you got
I was definitely feeling.
Yeah,
you know.
And so you just leaned in. There was a lock, boom, and then you said it. So you wouldn't say that before the lock, would you?
No.
That you got to get that moment where it's here, and then you say it, right?
Yeah. So, I think I've had so many experiences up until that point where you slow a girl down and you stop, and you know what that feeling's going to be like when you get a girl to stop, right?
Yeah.
So you feel comfortable really just saying what you feel. I think that's what I was feeling. I was like, can I absorb you for a second? It just came out the way it did, but I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel scared to say it. It was just like, it was what was honest to me.
Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah, she just stood there.
And then you guys went where afterwards?
So hugged for like 30 minutes, and I remember at some point in the background, some guy was telling his girlfriend, some girl was telling her boyfriend, she's like, oh, they've been standing there for like an hour. They've been standing there for like an hour. And that's when I popped back into reality. I was like, oh, okay. And so we started talking, and she was like, let's go sit on the grass. I was like, cool, let's go sit on the grass. We sat on a patch of grass and talked for like another 20 minutes or so.
Nice.
You know, out of nowhere, her Uber or somebody came, got her. She never grabbed her phone. I don't know where the Uber came from.
It's magic. It's magic. Out of nowhere.
Maybe she had a chauffeur or something like that, you know.
It's amazing how many magic, crazy things happen when you put yourself out there in the tension, guys. Yeah. If you're willing to get in the tension, you can have these memorable experiences. You'll be telling people when you're old. And it's sometimes it sounds super new agey and weird. And he's not even a new agey guy, you know, he's a normal dude. It's just what came out of him because it's what the moment asked for. And stuff like this happens. So I want to really quickly glance.
That's hilarious.
So, I still feel hurt when people ignore my hello. I still feel hurt when people ignore my hellos. I plan on feeling the hurt and letting go. Good job, Abraham. That's what you got to do. You got to just keep letting it go until it doesn't bother you anymore, until you can be fully expressive with a wide open heart and you can just be free and so forth. So I'm over here reading your chat. So what makes connecting with a woman so rewarding is they are complex. Changing the fact, should she reject you? Surfboards, instruments, or just objects? Yeah, surfboards are objects, but we still, all of this stuff, it challenges you. Like let's take instruments. A lot of times we'll learn to play an instrument and we beat ourselves up as we learn, but then we get in front of a crowd of people to play it. And that's a whole nother level. Now we're being reflected back. And you're absolutely right. Anytime somebody's reflecting back to you, that's the most challenging on your self-esteem. That's why I've always said approaching and either approaching or sales, stuff like that, are really going to challenge aspects of your self-esteem. Public speaking is another great example. The parts of yourself that are terrified of what other people think of you, because that's what our biggest fears are. It all comes down to self-esteem. You mentioned asking 2 questions and she splits for the bathroom. I have this problem. How did you improve the balance? We're going to get, I don't know if we're going to get into the question. Put the questions over in the Q&A, guys. If it's a big question, if it's just a comment, that's what I'm looking for here. Okay. So Mark, move that question to the Q&A, please. She would not be interested, not asking too many questions. Sometimes people don't return. Okay. Why does Brian recommend looking at the left eye? I was taught many years ago by Steve Pickus, if you guys know who he is, that the left eye is the gateway of the soul. They often talk about left brain, right brain, and how the right brain is the feeling brain, and that's connected to the left eye. So you get more emotion, feeling. This is the theory behind it. And I'm not the only one that's talked about that. There's a lot of people have. So I've just kind of gone with it. And it's really worked well. I just matched with a beautiful woman on Bumble. Good job for you. How do I start? Any tips? We're not doing online dating right now. You can check out. You got any online dating you can go reference?
No, I can give you a quick tip.
Give it to him.
Yeah, send a voice message. Don't send text.
There you go. You can do that on Bumble now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome if you can do that on Bumble.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm going on Bumble. That's awesome. I've been waiting for like video and voice.
Dude,
hey, that's much better than texting. Tom, look at a picture of whatever your first thought is. Send it. Okay. This is amazing. Okay, cool. I don't want to get into these long ones over here. I want to find myself managing functioning through a mild panic.
Cool.
Can you talk about that during approaching? What's a good way to go out and get better approaching? For me, I started going out and having watch. Okay, we'll get into that stuff. Dealing with panic, getting better at approaching. And this question here is an interesting one. Have you ever had a woman just stop and initiate connecting with you?
Yeah, like a girl stop me and just start connecting with me. Yeah, for sure. Happens all the time. Yeah. Grocery store, Starbucks.
Did it happen before you did the work?
No,
not at all.
Not at all. No, it's usually when I'm standing somewhere and I'm just really just kind of vibing and feeling my own body.
Yeah.
Like I told you guys about the I don't know if you guys saw the video. There's a video out on the channel about me sitting in the hookah lounge, for instance, like that. And the girl's kind of talking to me. It's whenever I'm just sitting there and vibing, feeling my own body, enjoying myself. It's always when I'm enjoying myself, though.
Yeah, when you're containing your own space, like you're the tree trunk. The tree trunk doesn't chase the branches. The riverbed doesn't chase the water. When you become this rooted instrument, you become magnetic in that way. That's freedom from outcomes, what we're describing. So that's really good. Okay. So let's talk about those. I think those are 2 really good points. What when somebody goes out, what are some good tips for dealing with anxiety while they're getting better at approaching?
But it's going to suck at first. And that's just the nature of it. You got to recognize that you have the anxiety in the first place. Be okay with it. Stop trying to run from it.
So coming to acceptance.
Yeah, you have to come into acceptance of it. and realize because you have anxiety doesn't mean you're not going to get the girl. You can have anxiety and totally get the girl. You know what I mean? But you got to stop running from the anxiety to the point that in your interactions you're saying things to try to avoid feeling the anxiety. You're fidgeting with your hands. You're doing all these different things to avoid just being the anxious person that you are at that particular moment. Sure, over time you're going to get better and you're going to become less anxious the more familiar you get with stopping women. That's the nature of everything that you spend more time with. But the more you run from it, the more irregular or unnatural you're going to come off. Remember, we're always talking about how can we get you to be your most natural, confident self, and each one of us is naturally confident without the layers that we have on top. So, in order to kind of shave those layers off, you got to start to come into allowance of some of those, and anxiety is one of those. Again, like how you said, you can be nervous and scared and use that as a prop in your interaction, right? Hey, I'm nervous right now, I'm scared, I'm nervous. As long as you own it and don't become a victim to it.
Yeah, you gotta own it. You gotta show up in the. I always say that the thing I've been saying lately is you gotta show up in the midst of it.
Yeah.
So if I'm scared, I can't be like, oh, hi, where I'm shrinking in my fear. I have to be like, yeah, there's fear, and I'm gonna ignore it and show up anyways. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm shaking. So what? I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between those two, and hopefully you guys can see that difference. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another way to do that is to kind of pinpoint what's creating the anxiety. Keep a journal with you. That's another way to do it. Right, how you felt during the interaction, after the interaction,
and just keep bringing the stuff up. Yeah,
just keep letting it come up.
If every time you go out, guys, you can't help but like get deeper into this stuff, and you can get to the root of it. Eventually, start to tear it apart because every time you go out, it's going to come up a little bit more. It has to.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like lifting weights. You have to, if you keep going and you treat yourself well, you get plenty of rest. You give yourself time off. You don't overstress yourself. You don't force yourself. You're going to eventually get bigger. Eat plenty of healthy food. But okay, cool. So the other one. So what are some good and just some basic tips for them to get better at approaching?
Make it a consistent practice. Go out every day, maybe do 3. Do 3 with girls that maybe intimidate you a little bit, but not enough that you won't go in.
Yeah.
Just do it to, girls who maybe a 5 or 10 on attention scale.
Yeah, and we've got the Fearless Fridays coming up. That'll help them too.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're about to launch Fearless Fridays. We're going to be giving you challenges each weekend, helping you to improve your social skills, your ability to connect, your dating skills, your approach skills. And there I say do 2 a day. You can do 3. 2 and 3 are the 2 numbers I use the most, and I think they're the best numbers. 2, 3, even 1 a day is fine. But and then exercises to help improve little aspects of your skill set. Better eye contact. Today I'm going to work on eye contact. Tomorrow I'm going to work on feeling my legs.
Yeah.
The next day I'm going to work on feeling my heart and really saying, how does my heart feel when I talk to Anthony? Can I feel my heart? Can I feel his heart? Can I feel a little turn on when I talk? I feel a little turn on when I talk to Anthony. And then enjoying that turn on. And I'll go through 10, 20 stops practicing feeling this stuff. Not just 1 or 2, and not of them will be women. So let's say I'm in a place where there's not enough women. I'll stop whoever and talk to them. Practice socializing over and over and over again, just to get the practice in. And then if there's a cute girl, you go talk to her too. And so, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely great. I was thinking about something right now as you're saying that, and it's fleeting. It kind of left me right now, but it was a really good one too, man. I'll let it come back on its own when it does. I'll chime in.
Nice. So let's jump. I want to look at these comments, and then we're going to jump into the Q&A box. So if you guys have got 14 questions over there. Okay, cool. We're going to come down here. Does energy of apathy runs out like energy of fear, or is it you stop being inside? Does the energy of apathy run out like the energy of fear, or do you stop being inside? You get the question? I kind of get the question.
Yeah, I kind of get the question too. Like he's saying like it's in a
come here.
Yep. Hang on, guys. You guys are gonna love this.
Good. You're on camera. She's in trouble. She was supposed to be here earlier. So there. So they're saying hi, Natalie. I told him over here. See right here.
Do a lot of work. That's hilarious.
We'll be done in about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, no worries.
Continue on.
It was a question again.
Does the energy of apathy run out?
So he was asking if the energy of apathy. I thought he was asking if is it an outward energy. But what? How do you perceive
look
it?
at it again. Let's see. Video text. Okay. Where is it at? Does the energy of apathy runs out like the energy of fear, or is it you stop being inside?
Both. As the energy starts to run out because you start to realize that you don't need it anymore to mask whatever that you're feeling, you'll stop doing it, and you'll start allowing yourself to feel the emotions that have been behind it the whole time, and that's when the apathy will start to run out on its own. And as a result, you'll naturally start to become more outward.
Say hi or ask a question. Okay, we're going to jump to questions because that's what I promised everybody. So we're going to try to do speed questions. Okay, cool. We're moving over to questions, guys. Liam, this is a longer one. Let's see what it says here. Hope you're all having a good day. I've been doing self-esteem work through your sexy bastard meditation, releasing shame, guilt with sexual confidence, neediness, releases, seeing huge improvements in my life and in the world. What other stuff can I do to work on giving myself what I'm looking for from others? I want to give myself everything that I'm trying, I guess you meant trying there, trying to get from other women or whatever it may be. You got it?
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what you're trying to get from other people that you're not giving yourself is the first thing I would ask you. Once you got that awareness, can you find healthier ways to cultivate that same feeling that you're trying to get? And ask yourself, why aren't you giving it to yourself, whatever it is? If it's maybe you need validation, maybe you need acceptance, appreciation, love, comfort, security, things like that. What way can you do it that's healthy, of course, to get those same needs met?
Awesome. Manuel, short question. Are there techniques you use to have sex but not ejaculate?
I just stop early. If I feel like coming on, I just kiss from the back and let her know.
The most famous book is The Multi-Orgasmic Man by Mantak Chia. So go check that out. The second, another one is The Enlightened Sex Manual by David Data. So check those out. Sweet. And you can learn some stuff. We might create a program. We have somebody that wants to create a program around that. So we'll talk. We'll see. That'll be down the road though. We're going to keep these short. Is feeling of guilt is feeling guilt for wanting to fuck other girls nice guy syndrome or a form of self-obsession? I have a great girlfriend and I would not cheat on her, but sometimes I feel this way.
It depends. What's the agreement that you have with your girlfriend, man? I don't think the wanting to fuck other girls is the issue. I think we all have desires to do that anyway, right? It's natural. I think the repression of that might be a problem.
I'll lay odds that sometimes your girlfriend wants to fuck other guys too. I'll put money on that. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Natalie's agreeing. So it's the way we're human. Okay. It's just, and like you said, you just don't do it. If you have an agreement, you're not going to do that. You're not in an open relationship or something like that, or you're not in a swingers, you don't do it.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to. Remember, every time you do something where you lie, cheat, or manipulate because to get away with something, you're saying, I'm not confident enough to be honest. Therefore, it's damaging to your self-esteem. It is destructive to you when you do that. You're not just getting away with it, you're actually damaging your self-esteem every time you do that. And every year that you do keep doing stuff like that, you start to hate yourself a little bit more. So you got to decide what's most important to you. Okay. Tom T-Bone with his phone number in there. Tom, you want everybody to have your phone number? They do now. I just matched with a beautiful woman on Bumble real time right now. We already talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's the same one, right? Where you just send a video chat. Yep. Okay, Clint. Why does Brian recommend? I already answered that question. Niall, when I go out, I find myself functioning through a mild panic, and that's without any approaching. Can you talk about that during the approaching? Did we cover that too, right? Or no?
I don't think we specifically covered that.
You're going to be this weekend, right? At the in Miami. If you are, then we definitely should talk to him a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
But go ahead. Do you want to say something?
Deal with the panic for sure. sit with it for a bit. If it's I don't know, I don't really know what the extent of it is for you. Is it stopping you from approaching at all, or is it coming up during the approaching? What's the real dilemma that you're experiencing that'll help us better answer the question.
Yeah, there you go. Omar, I've been going out for a while and doing about 3 neutral approaches a day, but I can really take it to the next level of showing intent. Another thing is feel the social pressure is a big part of what is keeping me from showing intent. What do you recommend to get over those fears and stories during the approaches?
To get over those fears and stories, man, what I would honestly do is start giving compliments. Just start giving compliments, giving, and start saying things like, "I like you in that outfit. I love that dress on you." And then you slowly tiptoeing into showing intent. And then as you start to progress in that and get more comfortable with that, actually just showing more intent is just literally just a step away from that, right? And just being like, "I think you're absolutely beautiful," right? Or, "I want to get to know you," or anything like that. Will be right on the other side of that.
I think it's great. Just don't overdo it. Don't sit there and give compliment after compliment after compliment after compliment. Something that some guys get into. They see one compliment works and the girl says, "Oh, thank you," and then they give 10 more right behind it, and then it just gets fucking weird. So don't do that.
One compliment per girl.
Yeah.
Not a single one more.
Okay, Mark. Yeah, be one compliment and just get used to that. And you can give up to 2 if it's really genuine, but don't make up compliments. Don't say things that aren't true.
Yeah, definitely don't.
Look to find stuff that you really feel. Be honest. They can tell when you're bullshitting. So, you mentioned asking too many questions, and she splits for the bathroom. I have this problem. How did you improve your balance of sharing information that is not too boring for a girl? This is good for this weekend. We're going to be talking about this weekend. I haven't even brought up the marketing for this weekend, guys. Cairo's going to be so mad at me. You can put the link in there because I'm going to bring it up that she would be interested in, and not asking too many questions. Sometimes people don't return asking questions. They like talking more about themselves. The biggest problem you're having there, Mark, and I'm going to throw this out, is probably embodiment. It's not the questions. It's the fact that the questions don't have any emotional content. I said this last week, like Bruce Lee, right? You got to have some feeling. You got to have some emotional content. When you say, "Wow, what do you do for a living?" You look, that's a boring question technically, right? But if you say, "So what do you do for a living?" That's really boring. If you say, "Oh, you're interesting. You must do something interesting. What do you do for a living?" They're much more interesting, a little more excitement, a little more energy, a little more life. "Oh, tell me more about that." But you got to actually be interested. So one of the skill sets that you want to master, Mark, is A, being able to feel your own emotions, and then B, being genuinely, and I mean literally genuinely interested in other people and what they have to say. If you can't do that, you can't pull them out. So if you're just asking questions to get to a goal and you don't give a fuck about the question, she knows. Then she's like, "Why are you talking to me?" And she get the point. So one of the solutions to that is learning to feel your body, learning to be in the zone, learning to flow. And that's what we're going to be doing this weekend. We're going to be going through example after example after example of that in Miami. And so any of you that haven't bought the online or the live program for Miami, I think there might be a few tickets left for live, but there's definitely unlimited tickets for online. Definitely do that now. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the first time we're really doing this event. I'm super excited to do it. It's going to be 2 full days, Saturday and Sunday. We have a private day on Friday for alumni, and we have VIP stuff. But for those of you that really want to see demos and examples of what it is like to stop thinking and actually flow with another human being and have fun talking to them, like a surfer rides a wave when they're not thinking, or a dancer's not thinking when they're dancing, that's going to be demonstrated this week. We're going to be talking specifically about that. The problem that most of you guys have is you think too much when you're talking. You don't feel enough. You don't flow enough. You don't relax enough. You're trying to figure out how to impress. Rather than just enjoying and creating value and letting your body tell you what to say. You're trying to, I got to come up with the right words, and learning to stop that mechanism is huge. There's a link in the chat now. Click on the link. Everybody click on the link at least once. Look at it. Make us happy. Give me that gift for working so hard to bring you this good information. I'd appreciate it. And Cairo, do we have any live seats left? I caught him off guard.
He's pouring some coffee.
He's trying to figure out how to hit that mute button. Are you there, Cairo? Or whoever's there right now. I can see your name, so I know you're somewhere.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
I knew I caught you off guard. Hey, do we have any seats left live, or is it just online?
In person, we have about, I think 5 or 4 left right now.
5 or 4. Okay. And like I said, the last week, everybody suddenly wants to buy and somebody misses out. It's the way it goes. You guys wait, and the last week you buy. Now, what's better than sunny Miami? The weather is perfect right now. It's going to be in the 70s, close to 80 each day. We're going to be on the beach, the Confidant Hotel. It's going to be spring break. People are going to be running around everywhere, having a good time. There's delicious food. I think they lifted the whole mask mandate, so you get to have, you get to cut loose and have a little more fun. There are bars open there.
Yeah, you can eat indoors.
There you go. You get to eat indoors. Yeah, unlike California, there are a lot of states where you can eat indoors. California's just weird, but so there you go, guys. There's the commercial. Do you want to add anything to what I just said to Mark?
No, that's absolutely it. I was literally going to say that it's not the words, it's the feeling behind the words, and if you can't feel, then that's your dilemma there.
There you go. Okay, that's the same question kind of as earlier that Mike's asking. Michael, have you got any helpful tips to approach when I haven't yet overcome limiting beliefs? Especially, well, that's how you approach to bring up your limiting beliefs so you can see them and process them, because a lot of them are repressed into your subconscious mind. So the moment you go up to approach and all that fear comes up, there's a limiting belief there, limiting thought, limiting feeling. And that's why you approach. I'm not approaching all the time to get over to get women. I'm approaching the most of the time to face my own fears and to become more confident and to love myself more and to hear all the stories of why I don't think I'm good enough. Because when I look at a woman in the eyes, if I don't like myself and I don't know her, I'm going to reflect that back to myself. And then the more I let that stuff go, the more confident I feel. And then the better I feel to her. Jump in.
Entirely. There's no way getting around that at all. I don't know. A lot of guys try to spend time trying to get rid of that stuff before they ever do an approach, and you just end up wasting time, wasting days, months, years. And you got to realize that's the stuff that you need to come up for you to get better at, because you can't avoid it.
Yeah. Every day you sit at home trying to figure out how to magically make your subconscious disappear from all that stuff is another day wasted. So, and you don't have to just approach women. You can approach everybody, anybody, groups of people, just learn to be social. And then because you're getting more comfortable being social and being spontaneous and being free, when you meet women, you will be that much more free. Okay. So, we keep getting more questions and we're kind of out of time. So guys, I'm going to have to cut it off. Do you guys enjoy the call today? You guys are having a good time? Give us some love. Nice. Yes. There we go. Lots of yeses. I love seeing that. Is Anthony awesome?
Awesome.
Do you guys want videos specifically from Anthony where he's just sharing his experiences being a fearless student? We're going to have him start doing that. How about Sam too? We'll have Sam on here too. Get a little black arm there. 100%. Nice. Yeah. Sam's got great stories. Anthony's got great stories. We'll get Mike on here. We'll get a little bit of everybody on here, but we're going to really feature those guys for a bit, get them on here. And so I can take a break and work on more material for you guys and not be on here as much. Well, actually, that's not true, because we're doing more days per week. So I'm actually probably going to be working just as much, if not more. They're just picking up. They're just making it so that the channel can put out content more days a week.
Yeah, a little bit of flavor.
Yeah. So again, the Attraction Seduction Gathering this weekend in Miami starts on Friday for the alumni. If you're an alumni, starts on Saturday and Sunday. If you're a new student, we're going to be talking about tension, how you use tension to step into flow, and how flow state stops you from thinking, and how it helps you to overcome all of trying to figure out who to be, what to say, what to do, and starts to really guide you. Remember that when you're with your best friend, you don't think about what to say, you just flow. When you're with people you love hanging out with, you don't think about what to say, you just flow. When you're with let's think of an ex-girlfriend who you got along with spectacularly well. You weren't planning every little thing you said all day long. At least I hope you weren't. You just flow. And what if you could do that with everybody? What if you could start to understand the dynamics behind that? What if you could start to understand the principles behind that? That's what this weekend's going to be about. So check this out. Because, and I'll say this, I don't often say this, but you only have so many days on this planet, guys. And I thought about this. This was really important to me. Back when I first started this journey and I was shy, I realized every day I wasted was a day lost. And I was heading more and more likely to being a miserable old man that didn't talk to people. And I didn't want to be that. That was antisocial, or that got a divorce because I married somebody I didn't want to be with because I settled because I was miserable. And I saw that in my family happening a lot. You know, there was a lot of people that were struggling and frustrated, and I just didn't want to have that happen. So I did what I had to do to fix the problem. I got out there and I went to workshops. I went to seminars. I started learning to hang around people that already had the skill sets I wanted, because that's how you do it. I realized it wasn't an overnight fix. I went to one workshop where they said in one weekend, you'll be in the top 1% of most attractive men in the world. And I knew they were full of shit the moment they said it, because it doesn't work that way. You have to get in there and do the work, and you have to get around the people, and you have to learn, you have to see examples. You have to see examples of it done right and wrong and good and bad. And your nervous system starts to change, just like building muscles, just like learning to surf. It takes a little bit each day, just like learning to play an instrument or learning to play music. But eventually you can flow. You learn a foreign language, and down the road, suddenly you're speaking poetry in it. In the beginning, you could barely say hi. And that's the way it goes. It's done and learned. Everything is learned in the subtleties. The 1% changes, 1% a day, 1% a day, 1% a day, compounding interest until something amazing happens. How long do you want to wait to start that process? And then how long are you going to let it be consistent? 1 day, 2 days, a month, 2 months, 3 months? Some people take a little longer. Some people are a little quicker. It depends on what your life experience is. So if you're really serious and you want a deep level change, that's what we do. We don't do the superficial stuff. We don't just teach you to say this and walk here and stand like this. We do the deeper stuff. So if you're ready for something deep and you want to see it in action, you want to see how it all works, how we build more social men, and we also help women. There's a lot of women that have come through and helped and worked with us. Then this is for you. And just click on the link in the video. Anything else?
Nope. Can't wait to see you guys in Miami. The guys who are showing up.
Awesome. And with that said, it was awesome having you all on the call today. And hi, Becky. Again, that's my sister.
Right.
And she's hanging out there. And everybody say goodbye to Natalie. She's sitting right over here. So
bye. Good luck, guys. You'll kill it. Just be confident. You'll be fine.
And she owes you an eye contact.
Yes, definitely.
So practice. So they're all sitting. There you go. You got to buy Natalie. Oh yeah, love the accent. So, okay, there's 41 on today. So that's good. Okay, guys, have a beautiful day. And remember, and ladies, remember, only the confident really live. Take care.